Welcome to the Leading Type Podcast with your hosts, Noel Coppins and Scott Roy. In a world full of noise and endless information, this is your space to slow down and focus on what truly matters. Each episode, Noel and Scott unpack key insights from some of the best books on leadership, helping you sharpen your edge and lead with purpose.
Welcome back, Noel. How are you?
I am good now, Scott. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. This has been a while since I've worked the board on this side here, so I wonder if I was going to get the mixing right.
I think
but
you
it
did a great job.
seems like I did an okay job. I didn't fumble that too badly.
I don't think you fumbled that at all, but we have been a while, and I just want to apologize to everyone because I got the terrible influenza and was out for 5 weeks.
Yeah, you were down and out.
Down and out.
Not just down.
Yeah.
But
out, kicked
gone.
to the curb. But I'm feeling great now, and that's what counts.
There you go.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
So it's a new year. It's a new you. It's we're a little bit late into January starting, but we're still.
That's okay. I think there's a bit of a hangover from Christmas this year because I turned it right off this year for Christmas.
Good.
Right after about the 24th.
Good.
I really turned it off this year.
And we need to unplug. It's really, really important to take that breath and focus and be present for our families and regroup and set our goals. And that's why today is such an important day for us to be talking about the book that we're talking about, because it's the start of the year. There's tons of year left. We're just finishing off our first month of the year. And, there's so much time to achieve everything that people want to achieve for the year. And so that's what we're about. We're about leadership here and setting and achieving all the success and however that looks for everybody.
Yeah. Hey, when you sent me the message and the notes for today, I was like, "Oh, we're doing a banking one. That was kind of cool." And then I actually read down a couple lines.
Okay.
Because this one's a cool one. Because this one is the book study today is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Yes.
Right. And you have
I have a special place in my heart for this book and for Darren Hardy himself. I had the joy of seeing him live and doing a 2-day presentation to us at a head office Remax event. He's brilliant. He's funny. He's so worldly, and yet what he brings to table, he's so authentic. It's incredibly genuine. He ran Success Magazine for like a dozen years. He's talked to the best of the best out there. Every Fortune 500 company CEO he's had to sit down with. So the guy knows what he's talking about. And when he put The Compound Effect forward, this fabulous book, which you will want to listen to on Audible or purchase a copy, and you'll want to go and return to that book again and again, as I have, because there's so much content in it. And even today, we're not going to do it justice, but we're going to take the very best parts of it, and you're going to see why I so love The Compound Effect.
Yeah, because I've gone through here and I have some questions. So as you go through this, it's not just, I looked at one of the things I took away from it with The Compound Effect was you can compound effect positively, but you can also allow the negative to compound as well. So you got to be very clear on the positive side of things.
You do. Right? So the whole idea of the compound effect is that this is an automated system that's at work in all of our lives, whether we know it or not, and whether we like it or not. This is a system that is always at work, and it is either for your good or your bad. It's about the little tiny decisions that we make every single day that completely direct the course of our lives. We tend to think as humans that it's the big decisions we make, that it's the big stuff that happens, these milestone moments that are really defining to us. And they're not. What really defines us, that sets our course, that we want to achieve, that we want to get to, whatever that looks like for you, is going to be determined in the small decisions that you make every day. See, we live in an instant gratification world. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, very much so.
You want to lose 10 pounds in a week. You want to, everything's trim fast and
make money quick.
Make money quick. And everything is this immediacy of the moment. And so we've lost a whole piece of and a huge piece of what made, say, our grandparents amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Our grandparents, that generation, understood hard work. They understood dedication.
Mm-hmm.
They understood consistency. They understood these things in order to get ahead. And how many stories can we tell? I've got a great story about an uncle. He was not a blood uncle, but he was the man I called an uncle to my aunt. And he came over from Slovenia with $5 in his pocket, a young family, and no English. And by the time he was 45, 50 years old, he was a multimillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen? It's not done through anything but a concerted effort to improve every day. He had to learn English. He had to get a job. He had to see opportunity. He had to work towards that opportunity. He was just a wonderful example for me to give in my own life and I admired him so much. He passed away a couple of years ago, and I loved him to death. And he was such a role model to me because he proved to me that anyone can succeed, because he had, there's people out there in life that have way more challenges than we do. And yet we want to play this victim card.
Yeah. No, that does come out quite a bit.
It does. And I'm not saying that everybody that's born here is born with a silver spoon in their mouth, obviously, but I can only speak to myself. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth in terms of solid family, roof over my head, food in my belly, opportunities to go to university, all that kind of stuff. I had opportunity, and so many people do not have that, and yet they excel, they exceed, they go far beyond anything that I've done. Way. I'm a little tiny story compared to most.
Yeah, it gets interesting, the things that we take for granted. Because I heard something not too long ago, probably a couple of weeks ago, shortly after Christmas, and it was something that kind of makes you stop and go, no, that's not right. And it was the things we take for granted. Mm-hmm. And the person made a comment about a hot shower.
Well, yeah.
Taking a hot shower. Mm-hmm. That was something that wasn't done 60 to 70 years ago.
Right.
You just didn't get up and go stand in a nice hot shower and feel better and go off to work.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that's not a long time ago.
Well,
that's not even a generation.
I've got a story about a hot shower of one of our agents who came from Russia. Yeah. Again, that same kind of story, came as an immigrant in the 80s, late 80s, without a word of English, young family. Yeah. And the first time she ever had a hot shower in her life was when they landed in Montreal in the housing that the church had put them up in. It was the first time, and she just stood there praising God for the blessing of a hot water shower. Yeah. And you think, okay, that's perspective.
Yeah.
That's, and so I love that you shared that. Thank you so much, because
it's really hard to argue that point.
It is. And it's there's a thing called the immigrant mentality, and, they come over and see what we as Canadians who have been born here, and I'm sure it's like that anywhere in the world, have taken for granted, for lack of a better term, all of our lives. Yeah. So, the whole idea is that get rich, get thin, get younger immediately. Now, kind of, we've been sabotaged from marketers who have sold us a bill of goods that everything has a fairy tale happy ending, and we've all bought in. And it's a giant lie. And we experience that lie because there's never the follow through. Right. It doesn't work. Yeah. And what is missing is the hard work, the dedication, the consistency, the sacrifice to get what you want. Yeah. And it's not the big decisions. It's the wee little ones. Yeah. Like he says in the book, success is not doing a million things well. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs business owners like yourself, you're juggling a ton of different roles every single day in your business. You got to be the accounts manager. You've got to be the marketer. You've got to be the salesman. You've got to, you got to be the stager. You've got to be the cleaner. You've got to, all
the
this stuff.
The financial person beside it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's doing that for you.
Yeah. In real estate, you're wearing an awful lot of hats.
Yeah.
And, but many small businesses, that small business owner is wearing all of those hats. Yeah. And we tend to think, oh, we've got to do everything right in order to get where we want to be. And it's a lie. We don't need to do a million things right. We need to do a handful of things consistently and right.
Yeah.
And that half dozen things, we need to say, I can do that really, really well.
Yeah.
And you've got to find what those things are, play to your strengths, and do those things and farm out everything else.
Yeah.
You have to learn to delegate.
That's a tough one for people. Delegation is a tough one for people because
terrible.
we had a very interesting conversation before we started the podcast about sourcing things out and it not being to your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't deliver that product to someone or that service to someone if it's substandard.
Yeah.
So I guess take control of the things that you can that aren't going to have that face-to-face interaction with your business.
That's right.
That front-facing side of your business.
Yeah.
And, the paper trail or the, what do they call it? The accounting terms and all that other stuff, that doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
But your interactions need to be refined.
They do.
Polished.
Yeah.
Well presented.
They really do.
Not perfect.
Not perfect. We're never after perfection.
Yeah.
But we are after well done and executed, fully executed, right? Yeah. And I think, there's a lot to be said about knowing thyself. What are you best at? What are you good at?
Mm-hmm.
And when you recognize that, then, play to that, then take a look at, okay, where am I weakest? That's the stuff I'm going to delegate out. I am not good at social media at all. I'm not going to ever pretend to be.
Yeah.
And so that all gets delegated out to the rest of the team because I am not that girl.
Yeah.
And so, my social media will be dormant or stagnant for months on end, that I don't post anything. And that's okay because that's not my superpower. Yeah. But it's somebody else's.
Yeah,
so,
and someone else can step in and
that's right.
And most people of any sort of prominence in their industry, they aren't sitting down and writing their Instagram posts.
No, that's right.
You know that.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it comes down to a return on investment, right? Like what, the time it's going to take when you could hire somebody, and there's so many resources out there to help you do it better or to actually offload it completely. So the whole point of Darren Hardy's The Compound Effect is being aware that if you sit on the couch and eat chips every night, that's going to compound, right? It's just a great example. And
it's like you're peering into my soul.
I thought you were cheesies. No, I'm kidding. No.
Chips, salt and vinegar.
S&Bs. The point is, and you wonder why you're gaining weight. Not you.
I know exactly why I'm gaining weight.
And it's the little choices that you make. You going out and running a 10-kilometer run the next day, but going back on the sofa and not doing that run again for another 2 weeks, but going back on the sofa that night and eating the bag of S&Bs again.
Yeah.
Like that's the point, is that it's the little things you're choosing to do every day, not the big extravagant 10K run that you do once a month. So it's the little decisions. It's getting up a little bit earlier. It's being a little bit more disciplined, a lot more disciplined.
Yeah, there's a word that jumps off the page here as I look at the notes.
Yeah.
And it's called the ripple effect.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is
pretty
interesting, right? It's, you drop the pebble in and it just keeps radiating out until it runs out of water to ripple in anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not that it's insignificant.
No, and that, again, I go back to the big lie in all we're inundated with every day in marketing, is that everything can be an instant quick fix. And what his book is about, The Compound Effect, is utilizing the system that's already at work in your life, that you can layer these little steps And, it's like we underestimate what we can achieve in the long term and we overestimate what we can achieve in the short term. That's a classic diet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm going to lose 40 pounds by March 1st. But if I just controlled my eating and changed some habits and watched what I was doing and been mindful, I could lose that 40 pounds in a year. But I can't do it in 2 months, and so it's understanding that but in our brains are, these wonderful machines that live up here. We tend to underestimate what we can do in that long term. We don't look further enough out, and we overestimate what we can do in the short term. It's just very dangerous.
Yeah.
The compound effect is not sexy. It's a hard sale. And that's why marketers don't talk about it, because nobody wants things to take a long time. Nobody wants to wait for that layering effect.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to have to do tedious, mundane, boring, consistent work.
Yeah.
And that is just where the gold lies. And it's that simple. The people who are, if you're in sales, if you are strategic, if you are consistent, if you have that discipline to do the little tedious things that you need to do every day, you'll win all day long because of the compound effect in your life.
Well, I remember sharing a story. I don't know if it was you or it was someone else that we were working with, was sharing the story about another agent that was in our area, in our like demographic area.
Yeah.
And they used to say, "Oh, she's the luckiest person out there." But what nobody saw was the daily mundane tasks that got her to the point of being perceived as being the luckiest person out there. Oh, you just kind of show up and this happens and that happens. But you didn't see all the small stuff, day after day, week after week, the grind, whatever that was, to get the name out there, to get the product out there, whatever it is. We're very centric because we're real estate.
Yeah, that's
we're real estate, and it's your name, it's your reputation, it's your knowledge, it's a lot of those things. It's not a product.
It's not a product. We're selling our services. And so it's very personal. It's very intimate almost, because when we get rejected, we can take it very personally because it is us that is being rejected. But getting back to what you're saying, there's no such thing as an overnight success.
No.
The work that's behind it, you see the professional NBA player go out on the court and you think, wow,
I can do that.
Right.
Yeah,
but what you don't see are the thousands of hours and injuries and pain and and sacrifice to be on that court.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the whole thing. Every player makes things look so simple and easy. Things can be simple. I pick up the club, I hit the ball, and it goes in the hole. But it's not easy.
No,
it's the point. Nothing that is worthwhile is usually what you would call easy. And I can give a roadmap to anyone that I'm coaching on how to be successful in our business, how to be successful in real estate. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Pardon me. It's so simple. It's never going to be easy.
Yeah.
Certain personalities have a really hard time with doing those mundane, tedious little tasks that you have to do. The repetition of it and the daily effect of it is, I don't feel like it's not very glamorous. This isn't necessarily what I signed up for. I was expecting lunches and lunches out and cocktails and easy sales and all this stuff. I'm like, hello, welcome to reality. That is selling sunset. That is not us.
Well, I mean, I'm a prime example of it because we talked about before we came on. I'm in my 16th year. And I came from the corporate world where it was a product, it was a business, and it was, you went out there and you competed with other people who produced the same product as you. Or maybe it was a service that was provided by the organization that was destined to make the recipient's life easier.
Right.
But when you come into something like this, where you are the owner, you are the one working on this, you are the one that is you only get out of this what you put into it.
Yep.
And that was something I learned very, very early. And it's like the option is go hungry or
I like food with my meals.
yeah, it tastes better, right? It's like, right. And it's one of those things where you fall into that quicker and you understand that quicker.
Mm-hmm.
You're predisposed, I guess, to being, you're independent contractor or you're self-employed, but you've really got to look at it because everybody goes, oh, it must be so nice to set your own hours. You don't have to go into corporate. You don't have to, you don't have a manager, nagging at you. And you're right. You don't have any of that. Right. And you've got no safety net.
There's no ceiling and no net.
Floor. You got no floor, no net, no ceiling. So, and I came to that realization years ago. Do I want to be that guy that's like busting through every ceiling out there and shattering records? No, I don't.
And I think it's such a valuable point to say, because success, and I repeat this all the time and I always will, success looks different for everybody.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I don't think we should be trying to measure our success against anybody else. We should always be just looking at, I'm competing against myself. I want to be better than I was yesterday.
Right.
And I'm on this journey of improvement. Whereas it's so easy in a competitive field like real estate to look sideways at what your competitor is doing. If I'm saying competitor in quotes, because I don't believe that you are ever competing against anybody else. You need to be just focused on your own abilities, knowledge, increasing your skill set all the time, honing those skills of how you serve people. And this is applied for anyone in sales. I don't care if you're selling shoes or pizza or real estate. These are classic principles, and principles don't change.
No, they do not.
They do not. And so for sustainable success, this operating system called the compound effect is the only way to get there. It's the only way to get that sustainable long-term success that most people are looking for. And whatever that is for you, usually it's tied up with some kind of financial security, some kind of safe feeling, some kind of assurance or confidence in your abilities and in the future of what you're doing. I think success is all tied up in that, that I have a future in what I'm doing. I'm able to provide for my family. I'm enjoying what I do. I feel I have purpose, and I feel that I am filling a need in others for the services I provide. To me, that's all really kind of success, right? It's not, oh, I sold 500 homes this year, but I'm burnt out and miserable, and my wife is leaving me.
Yeah.
My kids won't speak to me. You know what I mean? And I'm gambling or drinking away all the money I'm making because I need coping mechanisms because I'm working so hard, or I'm doing things completely illegal or skirting the line of legality in order to make these numbers that are so impressive to everybody else. That is not success.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder about that though. Is that and this may be a little bit off topic for what we're talking about, is, do you think, what's your opinion on that? Because I have a fundamental issue with it, and I don't like when someone says, I'm in the top whatever, I am the number one, I am this, because I think in my mind, you've lost the sense of why you're doing what you're doing.
I know. And I agree that there does need to be some social proof. I just don't believe it needs to be spoken. So I think, on media outlets, your Facebook, your Instagram, your website, whatever, accolades like that in your any of your marketing pieces, that are speaking about you, like in a biographical type of sense, it can reference kind of, your perceived success, because people do want to work with a winner. There's no question. We are wired for that. But in conversation, if I'm in the service business, if I'm in the sales business, and I'm supposed to be filling a need that you require being filled, right? Like,
Yeah.
so why am I talking about myself? I need to be
Right,
talking about
that's-
what do you need?
Yeah.
How can we best achieve that? You know, you may think you need a hammer. Actually, you need a nail gun.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I'm going to help you uncover that as we go through this process to find out like what exactly is, you know, your actual need and what is exactly what you're trying to obtain, or what's your objective. You know, how can I get you there? What are your goals and dreams and visions, and where do I fit in order to help you
Right.
succeed in that manner? It needs to be about the other person. It's always, anyway, I'll talk about that for 1,000 years.
Oh,
It's
no,
always
for
about
sure.
the other.
Yeah.
When you can focus on the other,
Yeah.
your success is almost assured, because people care about people who care.
Right.
People lean in to people who are truly, genuinely interested in them.
Yeah.
Not sitting there blathering on about how fantastic. I mean, we tune out, because naturally in all of our brains, there is one lead actor happening in the play of our lives, and he or she is standing in the middle, and it's me in my case, and it's you in your case, and in everyone's case, it's themselves, and everybody else. I don't care who it is, spouse, children, parents, whatever, love of your life, are supporting characters in that play. You are the lead.
Yeah.
You are the center, and that's why we're wired to love the sound of our names. When someone says at the front desk of the Radisson Hotel, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Mr. Roy. We're so happy to see you and your lovely family. Is this Denise? It's so nice to meet you, Denise.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for staying here. And I don't know if the Radisson does that or not. I'm just giving an example. The more, you know, that people make it personal and you hear your own name being spoken to you. Yeah. Like that's deep seated in us to love hearing our names spoken.
Wait, and you're absolutely right. Absolutely. The thing that came from this year, and we're only a few weeks into this year, and I had an experience where it kind of stopped me dead in my tracks. And we were doing some things for some clients, and we were, you know, trying to be as helpful as we could. And we just thought it was kind of like some of the normal things that we would do in our day-to-day activities. And I got a phone call back, and it was a very simple, I'm impressed. I've never been treated this way before. Those were the only words they spoke. And I was like, whoa, that was impactful. That made the day, week, month. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still talking about it.
Well, yeah, because for twofold, you're acknowledged.
Yeah.
Because you acknowledge them. Right? This is a beautiful symbiotic thing.
Yeah.
You know, be good to people. People be good to you. Yeah. Like it's amazing, but true. I mean, it's so simple.
Well, and we've had the converse side of it. And the reaction for me was, all right, what else can we do for them to make them feel good? Whereas if I go back a couple of years and we were doing the same things and it's not acknowledged and it's not, and it only puts it into perspective because it was. And I'm not saying that I do things because I'm expecting something in return.
No.
Right. But when it wasn't even acknowledged, wasn't even appreciated, and in fact became this, well, you did it on Tuesday, why won't you do it again on Wednesday? And I'm not going to be here. And can you just, I was like,
the expectation.
Now I don't want to do it. Now I don't.
Isn't human nature fun?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I think we're all like, we kind of stagnate at 6 years old sometimes, but you know, because you dig your little heels in and you say, well, you know, you're not appreciating me. So I don't want to keep doing this for you. Why would I do this for you? You don't even say thank you. You don't even know how to appreciate me. That's how important appreciation is.
Yeah.
That I cannot ever talk enough about how valuable and meaningful appreciation is to the human soul.
Oh gosh. I mean,
and it can be the smallest appreciation.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be scaled. It can just that meaningful thank you.
mm-hmm.
And it makes you want to do more for them. It makes you want to go out of your way to
Yeah.
do more wonderful things for them. It's
Yeah.
just so interesting because it's addictive. And the opposite is true, as you just said, when it's taken for granted, when there's this smugness that's brought back to you, and this very callous kind of behavior that just says, I'm so entitled that I'm not even going to say thank you.
Right.
Well, now I want to, you just you want to retract.
I want to take my truck back and dump it all in your front yard. That's what I want to do.
Okay. All right. Settle down, 6-year-old.
But you know what? It came into the compounding effect. And
Yes,
I'll explain
does.
why it comes into
It
that,
does.
for me at least. Right? Remember that story I just said about pulling on the cable?
Yeah.
Yanked my headset off my head. The compounding effect from that comment that they made was, I wanted to do more.
Exactly.
What else could I do? What else would they appreciate that we do that would make their life easier?
Yeah.
Things that they didn't have to do. And I think we started off by saying positive compounding, that is it.
Yes.
Negative compounding is,
they're both at work.
I want my truck back.
Yeah. That's right.
You're going to get your stuff back. All right.
The operating system is there.
Yeah.
Always at work. It's, how do you want to use it? Do you want to use it for good or for bad? Like, you want to use it positively or you're going to use it negatively, but be aware that it's there. And it's that mindful piece that, oh my goodness. Yeah. This is, you start doing something at 10 years old that you're still doing at 60, you're paying a price for that if it's a negative thing.
Oh,
right?
God, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But that's how it works. The compound effect, as you say, you get this little shot of happiness. There's this, whether it's endorphins, whatever you want to call them in your brain, those happy feelings, those good happy feelings when you do something for someone and they acknowledge it and truly appreciate it, and you feel the heart behind it, and then you want to do more for them because everyone wants to do something that feels good.
Yeah.
I want to keep doing things. You made me feel good. I want to keep doing nice things for you because you appreciate them and you made me feel good. So, I mean, when we can apply that to business, when we can apply it to sales, particularly leadership, most exclusively, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all part, to me, that's part of being a good leader.
Right.
So I want to get back to the notes just for a minute because
sorry, I took you off.
No,
I
it's
took
so
you off
good.
on a different tangent there. My bad.
No, not at all. It's all good. What I love about what he says is that, when we're talking about a concept like this, and okay, I've got to make just a few small, well-informed changes in my life to get ahead. And how do I do that? Or what, how do I implement that? And our brains can kind of go to all kinds of, okay, I'm going to need a whole system. I'm going to need a library. I need to do research. I'm going to, and all of a sudden we're incorporating, Google Analytics into stuff or whatever. It becomes this big thing. And what he emphasizes throughout the book is that you already know. Don't complicate this. You don't need to complicate this.
Yep.
You already know everything you need to know. And in our business, I say that true of every person that's in real estate. You already know what you have to do to get where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to do it.
Yeah. Well, you got to take all the steps that are required to get there.
And it's starting your day properly.
Yeah.
It's the little decisions that you're making all day long that are going to set the course of your life on whether you're going, downhill or uphill. So new behaviors and habits that will turn you away from the self-sabotage that we all can fall victim to. Like I say, the sitting on the couch and eating bonbons every night is not going to be your key to weight loss. No. I keep coming back to weight because it's such a great example of the compound effect, right? you start a running program. You cannot run 10 kilometers the first time out without hurting yourself and possibly not going back out again, because you're going to be in pain for days and days. But someone who hasn't run in years, if they can make it to the mailbox, like one block, and then they do that for a couple of days, and then they go to the next block, and then they go to the next block, and they structure it so they're not hurting themselves, but they're building, and before you know it, they can do 10 kilometers no problem. They can do a marathon no problem. It's the same thing as we all talk about. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time, but it's a small bite. So the compound effect in action, we have, again, as a society, lost sight of the good old-fashioned work ethic that our grandparents had that built this country. Mm-hmm. It built the U.S., it built Canada, it built the North American whole societal framework was built on the backs of our grandparents, like early 1900s, and this uncommon work ethic that they came here with, where they were willing to sacrifice, willing to do the tedious, hard things and smile through it, be grateful through it, which is super cool.
I think that's the big difference by today's standards. So here's another example for you. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine today trying to build a transcontinental railway that connects one coast of our country to the other, being one of the largest land masses out there? How difficult would that be?
Yeah.
It would be, and you would think that by today's standards, with technology and everything that we have, that it would be easier. I would almost go out on a limb and say it would probably be 10 times harder.
I think the main point of all that is that it was done by hard work, by hard labor.
Yeah.
And you think of the bridge work.
Yeah.
You think, it's mind-boggling. And if you took, just for fun, you took the 20-somethings or teens right now of our lifetime, and asked them to go and work like that, I'm not sure you'd get 2 feet of track laid.
No.
Right?
No, and I'm not espousing to say that, those were the greatest conditions that they had.
Oh, terrible.
Building that railway.
Yeah, they're terrible for sure.
But when you factor that in and you say, the working conditions were terrible, but people signed up.
Oh, we had a willing labor force.
Yeah.
We don't have a willing labor force now.
Right.
Because we have an entitled life, and we are all entitled. I'm speaking for myself too. And I know I just picked on young people, but I'm going to pick on young people a little bit because
I couldn't get off the couch to build a railway. You can be guaranteed of that. I wouldn't do it.
Well, you couldn't do it because you'd have to put your chip bag down.
Yeah, I would. But it is funny because I do think about those sorts of things when you talk about this, and the opportunity when we're driving in, or I'm just sitting about it going, imagine doing that today. I mean, like why don't we have those massive projects?
Yeah.
Like transcontinental railways, the St. Lawrence Seaway.
Yeah, all of it, like everything that built our country,
that
it was done on the backs of hard labor.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, it's these small, innocuous little steps that have no short-term appearance of value.
Yeah.
They're hammering a nail in, and then they're walking 6 inches or 8 inches, whatever, hammering another nail in. Yeah. And those guys weren't seeing the big picture when they were out west, seeing, they couldn't see the other side of it. And yet look what they accomplished. And it's a great example, Scott. So I appreciate it because it's what can be done over time.
Yeah.
If you apply consistency, if you apply these behavioral changes that choose to get up earlier in the morning, choose to eat better, choose to have rest when you need it.
Yeah.
So go to bed at a good time. I'm looking at you, Scott. You're my little night owl.
She's peering into my soul again.
But it's the secret is those good habits, right?
Yeah.
Let's put more good habits into our lives and watch where it takes us, not next week, but over time, because it will change your life the more you incorporate good habits in. And it's the little tiny changes. I'm not going to have a glass of wine with dinner tonight. I'm not going to have maybe a glass of wine again for dinner tomorrow night. I'm it's how do you, because we all know that it's easy to slip into habits that don't serve your health, that don't serve your business, that don't serve your life. And it's how things happen. And
I'm living proof of that.
yeah,
like I'm living
we
proof
both
of it.
are.
And
Yeah.
like every day.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go home and be like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I get home, man, that couch is comfortable. Or man, that show is something I would just needed a distraction for. And it's the rabbit hole that you go down, and it's like,
It is.
and you never recover from it. So
yeah. Nothing fails like success, right? Nothing fails like success. People get to a level of success and they simply get too comfortable.
Yeah.
We're all guilty of that. And they stop doing what they did to get there in the first place. I mean, this is talk about a rabbit hole. It's the truth. In sales, especially, we'll see people, do really, really well. They've worked really, really hard. They build, and they're reaping the rewards. And then they get comfy.
Yeah.
And they stop. And if they look back at their business, they would say, yeah, when did I stop doing that little thing? And when did I stop doing that little thing? And when did I let those things that built me slide? And then I wonder why I'm having a bad year or a bad month, or things just aren't going my way. What did I leave behind? What habits did I let go of? You got to let go of bad habits, but you never let go of the good ones. The same things that built you to where you want to be when you do experience the success that you want are the same things you have to consistently do. You never get to stop. Yeah. There is no end. Yeah. Because if there is, like, if you want that, that's fine, but be prepared that outcome of you stopping those good habits is going to be that you're not producing what you used to.
For most people, that's called retirement. And if you think about it, that's the ultimate, I'm not doing the same habits anymore.
Yeah.
But guess what happens to your income in your retirement?
Yeah.
You have to have built up enough.
You do.
In order to retire.
Yeah.
So,
he used a couple of words that I absolutely love that we never hear anymore. Other than Angela Duckworth did put the name grit on her book. I love the word grit, and I love the word fortitude, and he uses those a lot in the book. And really? Those are the things that we've let go of in our society. All these wonderful attributes that if you sat down with your grandparents, you would see in spades in just any given conversation about their life, and you would marvel. I wish I could. Mine are unfortunately long gone to heaven. But, there's so much wisdom and experience and opportunity for you to learn so much if you can sit with an older person who came through those years of the early 1900s.
Yeah, it is pretty special you're able to sit down and talk to those people. And I remember talking to my grandfather briefly about I think it was World War II, and how he wasn't allowed to go. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I mean, you weren't allowed to go. So my kind of thought process was, you were signing up for that? And the answer was, yeah, you were signing up for it. So the story that I was told about my grandfather is he wasn't allowed to go to war, but he was able to go to northern Quebec and build planes in freezing cold temperatures for the war effort.
Yeah.
Right. And
where is that now? You know what I mean? That calling of honor and sacrifice and service to your country, to your countrymen, again, apply that to to today's
we're a vastly different society, right? And
we've lost some really good stuff that we need to reclaim. And that's what he says a lot in the book. We've lost our character along the way of our microwave mentality.
Yeah. And the popcorn in a minute and 30 seconds or however long.
Right. He says, takes. I love this. He says, promise yourself once and for all that you are going to let go of your lottery winner expectations. The only path to success is through the continuum of that mundane, unsexy, difficult daily disciplines compounded over time.
Mm-hmm.
And something else he said, knowledge is knowledge that on its own. So knowledge that has not been invested is wasted. The only time that knowledge is useful is in its application. So knowledge is not power.
Right.
The application of knowledge is power.
Yes.
So you can take someone and you can tell them all of these things, but if they don't apply it, and I talk about that all. You can go to conferences and you have a great speaker, and they are rolling out an entire system of success for salespeople. And this is how you do it. And this is, you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this. And so all the knowledge is there in the room of 500 people.
Yeah.
And who walks out and actually applies it? Yes, I've learned it all. That's fantastic. Where's the application? Because the application is where the secret lies, right? In actually doing what he's just said, not just knowing what to do. You can know what to do, but it's no good to you if you don't do what you know.
Yes. And again, I'm just as guilty.
We all are.
Of doing that when we go to a conference, and it's like you're
rah.
breaking the lead off the pencil, writing notes as fast as you can. And you get on the subway, you get the drive home, and 2 hours later, you've had 3 phone calls, and you've had this distraction and that distraction, and
it all goes out the window.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Was I supposed to do? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you bought the book and you bought the tape cassettes. That was me back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it all sat on the shelf.
Yep.
In my business, in my personal sales business, I knew that if I could just get one client, that I could turn that client into more clients. If I could just do a spectacular job for them, they would tell other people about me. And that's that referral basis. And I've taught that since day one of owning this company. You've got to go in with that mentality, and it will slowly build. And all of a sudden, and I remember, with our success, and again, relative to it, we're in a small community, and selling 100 homes a year is nothing to like shout from the rooftops. But in our small community, we were doing well. Let's just say that. And when we were operating at that level, we were kind of a surprise to some of the other people in the business,
the establishment.
Because all of a sudden, like, who is she? What? I don't even, who is she? But you kind of are quietly growing behind the scenes. And then all of a sudden, and it's no different than what we did here with Remax Jazz. Like we quietly grew behind the scenes until all of a sudden, where did they come from? The overnight success story. I talked to wonderful Remax owners who are one of the first Remax owners in Canada, and they own an enormously successful franchise, and with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents, probably thousands of agents. Anyway, but the point is, enormously successful, wonderful people, family operated. And she would say to me, 40 years later, we're an overnight success.
Yeah.
And that's the point, is it's time and consistency will see you get where you want, but you don't get one without the other. It's time and consistency. And so what do you want out of life? Because if you want to ask life for a quick fix, you're going to get a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what do you want? Yeah. And only you can decide that. Like, that's, what it looks like for you is not what it's going to look like for the guy beside you. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But at least ask of life what you want, because it's going to deliver.
Yeah.
Whether you ask it or not, it's going to make, you're going to make choices and decisions and assumptions and movement forward regardless of whether it's intentional or unintentional. You
Yeah.
know, either which way you're making a decision. Not making a decision is still a decision, I
Yeah.
guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And so ask of life what you want.
Yeah.
And make the small little steps towards change that you know you need to make, getting up earlier, eating right, making that extra call, making those calls in the first place, you know,
Yes.
actually going to
Yeah.
the office,
Yeah.
you know, actually following up with people. I mean, go on and on, you know, actually having structure and discipline and strategy to your business. And again, you already know everything. I can't stress that enough. You already know, if you're in business, you already know everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
Now you just need to apply.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. So yeah.
Yep.
Choice.
Yes.
Everything.
That's the word that's jumping off the page.
Everything in your life is a result of the choices you make. Wherever you land in life, there's only one person looking back at you in the mirror. You know, at the end of the day, you know, if you could fast forward your life and see where you are in 20 or 30 years, and are you going to be happy with your decisions, with the choices you made, or are you going to look back with regret? And regret is an evil, awful thing. And I would love to see everybody saved from regret. I would love to see them living their best life.
Yeah. But it is, that's one of those things where I think it's something you can learn from. And I think, you know, if anybody was to look at my life and pick it apart from, I'll say from the time I was 17 until the time I was 45, there was a lot of choices that were made then that impacted my life now. And but when I look at those choices weren't always the best. They weren't the greatest. They weren't well-informed choices because I was young and I was thought I had everything figured and naive. But a part of it too was nobody can tell me what to do because I can.
Just bullheaded.
Oh yeah. But I also look at those components and say, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I had done it differently. And then when I'm laying in bed, sometimes I sit there and I think, boy, if I hadn't done that,
right,
I wouldn't have met my wife.
Yes, I know.
I wouldn't have
the outcome is good.
Right.
Yeah.
So those little choices that you have, I get those. The choices that you make are majorly impactful, even if you look back at them and they're negative, right? It's not making the choice. That's the one that's the tough part. And I had a manager years ago that said, I'm never going to be upset with you for making a decision to do something.
That's right. That's great.
I will come down on you if you don't make a decision and you just let things unfold.
Well, and that's it. Like we're sleepwalking through our lives in a lot of cases, right? We're on autopilot. Right. And I think with all the noise around us, all the distraction that is out there, I think it's very, very easy for us to be on autopilot. And we don't even realize a lot of the decisions that we're making.
Yeah.
And I think, just remembering that the choices you make, then those choices make you.
Yeah. Right. Your choice to wake up earlier, have a better, maybe not better. Okay. I mean, I hate saying it. It sounds like I'm up on a soapbox and I'm preaching to people when I'm saying make better choices and your life will be better. And no, that's not sitting on the couch and eating chips every night. You will have a compound effect from that.
Yes.
Right. It may not be the result you're looking for. Because in your mind, you're going, I need to lose some weight. I need to be able to run that marathon. I need to be able to play with my grandkids or do whatever it is that I'm doing. And sitting on the couch doesn't get me any closer to that goal that you're doing. Right. And, you're that small one. Like when you were talking about making it to the mailbox, the thing that ran through my head when I was doing that was we put a pool in. And everybody says, what do you use the pool? And I'm like, yeah, I use the pool all the time. I try and swim 10 lengths some days, 20 lengths the other day, and 30. And I got onto this pattern of doing that. So I would start swimming. And then I would just go up on the blackboard and I would mark down 5 or 10 or 20.
Yeah.
And I knew how long the pool was. So I would sit there and I would go, you know what? I can't swim a mile in one night. but I bet you I can swim a mile in a month.
See?
And what I did was every time I went out, I was
tracked it.
okay, 35 lengths and 38 feet. And I was like, you know what? By the end of the month, I could swim a mile.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Yeah.
Can't help it.
I told that story to Cherry.
Dora.
And that's exactly what he said. Yeah. He's like, what are you, Dory?
Yeah. Anyway, but you know what? This is a perfect example because tracking. Okay. Mm-hmm. In order, nothing is going to ever get you to where you want to be better than tracking your steps. So you're doing, this is such a great example. You're doing exactly what you need to do in order for that growth to happen, right? In order for you to see the compound effect at work, you have to track, because you'll forget, or you won't, you know what I mean? Like it just get kind of pushed by the wayside. But if you track, okay, I'm starting today and I'm doing this, and you can go back and see, I mean, numbers don't lie.
No.
This is going to show you the proof that the compound effect works, and you can track. And however you're applying the compound effect in that good way, you should track it. You absolutely have to track it, because
I could go out and swim every night. Yeah. If I didn't write it down or I didn't mark it down, I was like, did I do 10? Did I do 20? Yeah, we'll call it 15. And you never get to that. When you do finally think that you get there, you're like, well, maybe I didn't entirely get there, because the beginning of the month I didn't quite track it so well, and I don't know, kind of. We'll mark it down as I got there.
But it just doesn't feel the same as actually tracking it and seeing the success, seeing that trajectory, moving forward in such a positive light, and it's just so important. He talks about being grateful, and he's a huge endorser of journaling, just a couple of things at the end of the day that you were grateful for. It keeps us focused on, again, while we're doing these hard, little, mundane, thankless, seemingly innocuous choices that are for our good. And it can be painful, it can be boring, tedious is the best word to use. But those changes, those choices that you're making, that compound effect that you're putting into place, it needs to be reinforced with that positivity of gratefulness. Like, so when you can say, I'm so grateful for this couple of things, he totally believes in like a Thanksgiving type journal, and it will so improve your outlook on all of your life. Some great examples, that I have heard and read from him, was a couple that were in marriage counseling because their marriage was deteriorating, and they were not happy together anymore, and they were on the verge of breaking up. And the therapist recommended that they start doing this journal, and they do it for 1 year, and just 3 things that they're grateful for from their spouse. And I don't know if this is an anecdotal story. It might be, but I know this would work. I absolutely know it would work, because when you're focused on the positive, the negative recedes. But if I'm just going to focus all the time on the negative and what I don't like about my spouse, then that's going to magnify, because our focus, whatever it is a great magnifier. Yeah. So at the end of the year, of course, like they come into the therapy session and they're happy. They're together. They're in love. It restores a family unit, because they have chosen to make these changes, these small little things that they're going to focus on instead of the stuff that irritates.
Yeah.
And so it's a great, great example. He talks a lot about that, which, because whatever you appreciates.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And it is very, very, very true.
It is.
Like, when are you the happiest? You're on vacation, you're looking forward to being together, spending time together, and having those wonderful experiences. Mm-hmm. Right. That's,
of course. But, we're not always on vacation.
No.
And so gratefulness is a choice, we raise the kids by waking them up in the morning and saying, because they're grumpy in the morning, happiness is a choice. Choose to be happy.
How did that work for you every morning?
Not always good. Dave would have Kung Fu Fighting playing on full blast in the house. And that's what they would wake up to. Everybody was Kung Fu Fighting, with the music.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. Anyways, we thought it was great. The boys, not so much. But, the choose to be happy.
Yeah.
Choose to be happy because it is a choice.
Yeah.
Don't let your emotions control you. You control your emotions.
Yeah. Well, you know the buttons you can push. You know how you can make people smile and laugh. When they're in the worst mood ever. It's like, I can pull this one out. I know you're going to laugh.
Yeah.
Right? I know you're going to. We may not laugh, but at least I'll get a smile out of you.
Yes, you'll get a glimmer. So the whole point is owning 100% responsibility personally.
Mm-hmm.
This is the whole point of the whole book. It's taking stock of your life and your choices and where they've led you up to this point, seeing what you want to change, making the small little steps every day that are going to make that change happen. Just owning your personal responsibility 100%. It's not because of your genetics or who you're married to or where you work or your awful crappy boss or your rotten kids or the opportunities that were missed or get rid of all that gook.
Yeah.
And just focus on the fact you're an adult.
Yeah.
You are 100% responsible personally for the choices that you make, for your outlook, for the control of your emotions, for where you've landed and where you want to be. And at the end of the day, you don't get there. That's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's on you, not anybody else.
Yeah.
And so start taking that attitude is what he endorses. And I totally believe that. It's empowerment. You have all the power.
Yeah.
And you've got all the knowledge. So all you need is the application. So,
we're back to the application of all of this.
We are. So he talks a little bit about luck. So luck equals preparation, which is personal growth, plus attitude, which is like the belief and the mindset, right?
Yeah.
Plus opportunity. Like opportunity is everywhere. It's you choosing to see it. It's the glass. Is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? That's all opportunity is.
Yeah.
Right. How do I look out at my world? Do I look at it as opportunity? Are they everywhere around me? And finished one is action. So doing something about it. So luck. I love when people say, the busier I am, seems the luckier I get.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's the truth. Luck equals preparation plus attitude plus opportunity plus action. You need all of those components to be lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. Quote unquote lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. The luckiest person in the world. Right.
Yeah.
Or it's I would die to have your kind of luck type of thing.
Right.
But yeah, they don't see the other steps and everything else that you've just mentioned there.
Well, and it's understanding that luck is an equal opportunity distributor.
Yeah.
You're not luckier than I am. I am not luckier than you are. There's no one, no invisible force that's giving you more luck than the next guy. Oh, we're going to hold that guy back, but we're going to give you all the luck. Here's the winning lottery numbers. Like get out of the winning lottery number headset, just move away from that. There's opportunity everywhere. If there wasn't, we wouldn't have someone coming to Canada that can't speak English with little children and $5 in their pocket and end up be a multimillionaire.
Yeah. No,
there's not a chance because that guy had way more against him than someone that was here speaking the language, maybe not with any dependents, and money in the bank. And yet he's surpassed. And there's a million stories like that.
Oh, for sure there
so
are.
Luck is an equal opportunity lender. There's no question.
I would anecdotally kind of say that some people appear to be luckier.
Yeah.
Only because my story is I take my youngest son, Logan, with me and I can drive for 30 minutes and never hit a red light. And when I get in the car and drive back after I've dropped him off at university, I hit every one of those red lights on the way back. He has to have a component of luck to him.
No, he's just magic.
Yeah,
We've always said that.
I know. I just like, if I want to get anywhere quickly, I'm like, just get in the car and come with me. Why?
Yeah.
Just sit in the passenger seat. I need you beside me. So,
Yeah.
but he's just that type of person, right? And that's one of those things where you come back and you know what? You can make him smile.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what his day is like.
No, it's,
And you just say, hey, I need you sitting beside, get in the truck. We got to go.
Yeah.
We gotta go. Right?
I summed it up perfectly. Logan is magic. He's always been magic.
Yeah. He's just that guy.
He is.
Yeah. So,
so the meaning behind all of this, first step is awareness. It always is self-awareness, having the wherewithal, take a good look inside your heart, take a look at your strengths, your weaknesses. What are you doing that is keeping you unsuccessful? And again, I do it in air quotes because success looks different for everybody. But if you aren't feeling that you are being successful in your life, that you're not where you want to be, you haven't achieved what you wanted to achieve, whatever that is, you've got to start using the compound effect effectively. You've got to, this is an operating system that you have to start utilizing because it's at work regard. It's gotten you where you are right now, good or bad.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
That's the crazy part, isn't it?
It's where it's gotten you where you are thus far. You don't like where you are, then you got to change something.
Right.
You want to stay where you are, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you want to slide, keep doing more of what you're doing. 1 foot into the grave there. But the biggest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people are willing to do what the unsuccessful people are not.
And that's a very good spot to probably wrap this up.
There you go.
I would think, because that's, I can't add anything to that.
Well, there you go.
I can't. So that was really good.
It's phenomenal. I really encourage everyone that wants to improve their lives. And, if you're listening, you're on some kind of journey where you want to become a better leader. Even if you're just leading yourself, you want to be a better leader. And this book is vital to that journey. It's going to open up your eyes to how you've been living thus far and what you can do to get your best life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not reinventing anything, really.
Making a couple very small little changes in your life that compound. And as you achieve, that one little step, you're going to make the next step and the next step. And the next thing you know, you're in a marathon.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, thank you for your time today, Noel.
Thank you,
that
Scott.
One was very good. Just for everybody that was maybe engrossed in the conversation that we had, what was the name of the book again that we did? It was
The Compound Effect.
Yes.
By Darren Hardy.
Okay. And it's on Audible?
It's on Audible. It's on, on your, it's been a bestseller list for,
Can you still go into an old fashioned bookstore and buy it?
It's amazing, but you can.
My God.
I know. Don't fall over.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for everything. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today. If you've liked what you've heard, drop us a comment. Maybe tell somebody else about the content that we're doing.
Yeah. Feel free to reach out at noel@remaxjazz.com.
Yeah.
If you have anything that you want to add, discuss.
Yeah.
You have a book that you've read that you think is amazing and you'd love us to talk about it.
Sounds terrific.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again. We're going to have your favorite music here for the podcast. Take us out. And thanks to everyone for tuning in. Take care.